Guys, welcome to the podcast. We're going to start off by introducing ourselves. We have the dumb potato, Hecate.
Hi.
We have the arrogant Ymir.
Sup?
And then me, the greatest of all, Sun Woo-Kong. Welcome.
Hold up, Sun Woo-Kong. That's factually incorrect.
How dare you?
I'm not wrong. We'll be shorthanding her as Woo-Kong because Sun Woo-Kong is quite a mouthful. And hi guys, I'm Ymir, and just in case you didn't read the description of the podcast, what we'll be doing is examining myths and tales from civilizations past and seeing how their themes and how their lessons can apply to the modern day, hopefully while having a mixture of interesting banter and commentary along the way.
We also might do a couple of fun quizzes along the way. If you guys have any queries or suggestions, you can email us at
or great praise for the Sun Woo-Kong.
No, please don't do that. Sun Wukong's ego's way too inflated as is. She doesn't need more.
Anyway, you can email us at ouroboros.mythopodcast@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you, and we look forward to it. So, onward to the first episode?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome to the first episode. Today we'll be talking about the fall of the Titans, and we'll be touching upon the rise of the Greek cosmos. So, let's begin. In the beginning, in Greek mythology, there was nothing. And then came into existence night and chaos. We won't be using the original Greek names for pronunciation's sake. Also, just before we fully get into the tale, please do note that mythologies and tales told differ across areas and cultures, so please respect the fact that the tales we're using might not be the ones you've heard, but they are true or told somewhere nonetheless. So we hope you enjoy. So as I was saying, in the beginning, sprang night and chaos, and then they had children. The most famous of who were Gaia, Kronos, Tartaros. Those are the relevant ones for now. Now, Gaia and Kronos, they ended up like having kids because apparently that's what you do when you're three entities alone in primordial nothingness. Gaia became the earth, Kronos became the sky, and they gave birth to kids. The first sets of kids were the 100-handed ones and the Cyclops. Now, Kronos didn't like them. They were too ugly, too imperfect for his taste. For lack of a better word, he chucked them into Tartaros, the pit, the eternal pit. Now Gaia, she lost her children twice. It was frustrating, she was tired, but they had another set of children, the Titans. They had 12 Titan children, of whom have their own myths and their own stories, but for today we'll be focusing on Kronos and Rhea. Now, Kronos was the youngest son, and easily the most power-hungry, easily the most vicious of the children. In fact, when Gaia asked their children, which of you is willing to kill your father, it was Kronos who agreed. Kronos took the scythe, and when Gaia invited Kronos to dinner, he castrated him and chopped him up, spread him into the void. After that, Kronos took rule. Kronos was overthrown, Kronos was king. And he decided, I'm not going to have kids, because before Kronos' death, he made a prophecy that as you, my son, have overthrown me, so too shall your children overthrow you. And Kronos, for a period of time, decided, yeah, it's not a good idea to have kids. So he went about life without kids, ruling, dealing with whatever the Titan Age dealt with. But over time, he got lonely. He saw all his brothers and sisters happily married with their own children, enjoying their families. And he felt lonely. He felt like he had no one with him, no one behind him, no one he could care about. And amongst this loneliness was also an infatuation with the Titaness Rhea. Over time, Kronos wooed Rhea, or hopefully wooed Rhea, and they ended up getting married, or the equivalent of married at that point in time, and had their own kids, the gods. Now, here's the interesting bit. Kronos realized he'd made a mistake when he saw his first child, Hestia. He saw the child, and he saw that she was not quite a Titan. She was something more. Almost a Titan 2.0, if you will. She was a god. And he realized this was his end. He needed to stop it. So he did the first thing he thought of. He unhinged his jaw, made it massive, a gaping pit, and tossed her in. He ate her, for lack of a better word. And so this continued. They had a child, the child got eaten. They had a child, the child got eaten. And so it happened for the Olympians. Until the youngest child, baby boy Zeus, was born. At that point, Rhea was fed up. By the way, just so you know, Rhea was not a soft goddess. Her pets were 2 lions. She roamed around with weapons. She was a very, very powerful Titaness. Correct. And because of that, she dealt with Kronos for long enough. She saw Poseidon, her most recent son, being eaten, and she broke. She collapsed to the ground and cried her heart out. Cried and cried and cried for days until Mother Earth woke up. Mother Earth had been asleep for some time now because after Kronos had fallen, she decided she was tired. She wanted to take a nap. She woke up hearing the cries of one of her favorite children. And she asked, "What's wrong, my child?" Rhea told her the entire story, told her how Kronos was cruel, a horrible father, a demon. And Gaia responded, "Don't worry, fret not. Your next child, give birth to him on the island of Crete. And when you give birth to him, you shall find my blessing there. And that is what shall spare him." So, Rhea went about it. She had another baby boy named Zeus. She followed Gaia's instructions and went to the island of Crete to give birth. A very secluded place. And when she gave birth to him, she dreaded showing him to Kronos. Dreaded. But Gaia appeared to her, holding a stone. And she told her, swaddle this stone up and present it to Kronos as your child. He will believe you, and this child can remain safe here. And so she did. She took the stone to Kronos and said, "My lord, here is your newest child. I've named him..." Technically, I don't know if the stone ever had a name, if it was Zeus or not. Let's call him Rocky. So, I've named him Rocky. Please take your child. And at this point, Kronos had quite a few gods mingling around in his gut, and that basically gave him the same kind of mind as you would if after you ate an entire Thanksgiving turkey. He was groggy, he was lethargic, he couldn't think straight. He's like, "Oh my god, one more kid to eat. Oh god, let's get it over with." He didn't even bother to look at the child, unhinged his jaw, and chucked the kid back. And Kronos realized, and he turned to Rhea. He's like, "What did you feed to this kid? He's a rock." I mean, technically he was right. And from that moment on, little baby boy Zeus grew up on the island of Crete. Aging, drinking honey goat milk, having nymphs watch after him. There's more to the myth, but for the sake of time and for the sake of not going into the entire Greek theogony, we'll keep it there. But yes, he grew up and he grew old enough where he eventually realized that he wanted to know why his father had done the horrible things he'd done. So he asked his mother, and she told him how his father was a horrible ruler, how he needed to be overthrown. See any parallels between Gaia and Rhea here? And from that, she gave Zeus an offer. He could one inherent power all Titans and gods possessed was transformation. And so he transformed into a Titan version of himself. And he went to be Kronos' wine bearer. And let's just say Zeus knew how to make a mean cocktail because he was very, very well liked at the palaces. And from that point on, from the first drink he served Kronos, he became his official wine bearer. And he kept scheming and plotting until the day came when he fed Kronos a very interesting mixture. Some stories call it mustard and wine, some call it a very special herbal concoction. We'll just say a very interesting mixture, because it's debated what's in there. And this mixture caused Kronos to barf up his children, one by one, wretch after wretch. all the Olympians came up. And needless to say, they were a bit stunned that their whole prison wasn't there anymore, that they'd been just tossed into the world. And Zeus ran with them. He told them, I'm your brother, I will lead you to victory, come with me. And they ran. Now, after that, things happened. We won't go too in depth because this could make a mini series of events. But let's say that after that, they rescued the 100-handed ones, the Cyclopses, and they got weapons, or at least the brothers did. In the tales, the sisters never really got weapons. Demeter debatably got a weapon later on. Hera, not really. Hestia, definitely not. So Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus got weapons. Those were the three brothers, and then began the war on the Titans. And this war lasted for supposedly millennia, eons, until finally Kronos was killed. And from there on, Zeus took over. Zeus became the head god. Zeus ruled the ocean. Zeus ruled the skies. Poseidon ruled the oceans. Hades ruled the underworld. It was from a straw pick as of sorts, and let's just say Hades got the dud. He wasn't the happiest, but he was stuck with what he had. And from there, the Age of Gods began. And supposedly that age is still continuing because I don't think we have a set of gods after the gods, like there were gods after the Titans. The gods had children. They explained every natural phenomenon known to man. And yeah, so do people live in the Age of Gods. There we go.
Okay, cool, Ymir. Thanks for the story about a very tall dude eating Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a burrito.
That's not quite it. But if that's what you got,
It kind of makes sense. Though.
it is not about Kronos eating Dwayne "The Rock." I mean,
No,
he
look,
does,
look.
but no.
He eats the rock that was in Kronos's fat dad body. Like, do you get me?
I get what you're saying, but that's not it. It's more about Zeus and like the whole trials and tribulations. It's not. Yes, here we have a wild Kronos. He stumbled upon a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He
The
uses
Natural Geographic
devour.
person. We have Kronos. But also, you're telling me that the very three powerful siblings chose their roles using what? The strings? The strips?
Straws.
Basically, yes,
Straws.
Strongest straws.
Yes.
Straws. So
It's
our
straw,
universe was dictated by a kindergarten game of straws.
I mean,
You act like kindergartners don't run in politics. You're telling me some politicians
fair.
aren't kindergartners?
Okay, that's a good analogy, but really? Hades drew the short straw, so he went to become the manager of hell, and now he's struggling?
I mean, he was also
He's not
emo.
struggling. I mean, he's emo sometimes. Sometimes he's like a very nice child who just had a bad fate. Either way, Hades became the manager of hell, but also became like the richest god in existence.
Which has got dead souls?
I mean, jewels, ore, gold,
Okay,
diamonds,
okay.
platinum,
See
the earth.
jewels.
The
And-
earth?
And he has an army of the dead, so, you know.
I mean, technically, he's like he has.
Fair.
For any of y'all who watched Disney's Hercules, Hades has things going for him.
I think you're talking about the wrong universe. I'm pretty sure all the Percy Jackson fandom is here, so...
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, but fair enough.
And also Disney's Hercules
Really?
is a little not accurate.
Disney's Hera? Yo, Disney's Hera.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean-
we will
I
get
mean-
into
You're
Disney's
acting
Hera.
like she didn't eat her child.
Hera's special. Hera's a very interesting case, but no.
We will get to her
Actually,
later.
Interesting
By-
asylum case.
By our Lord and Savior Rick Riordan seeing himself, technically, he said Disney's Hercules is more educational than the the Percy Jackson movies. For anyone who can't understand, those are air quotes.
Oh,
Those are
don't
air
bring
quotes.
that in.
That doesn't count.
Yes,
They don't
guys.
even exist.
Let me
Fine,
introduce you to our
fine.
religion. I saw on an Instagram meme that a religion takes a maximum of 3 people, was it? And we have 3 people here. So our religion is absolutely hating the Percy Jackson movies.
Please do join. It's necessary.
Yes,
it's very
we'd
important.
love to have our holy church of hating the Percy Jackson movies up and running by tomorrow.
But it's horrible. Imagine a person coming up to you and being like, "Oh, Percy Jackson movies, awesome."
I've had that happen.
That's so
3
sad.
times. It's very tragic. But back to the myth. Back to the myth, guys.
Right,
so yeah,
right.
what are your thoughts on the whole fall of the Titans, rise of the gods thing?
Okay, you know what reminds me of? Being in 2020 and
True.
very special disaster in the news almost every single day. Let's go back to like the beginning, okay? So you remember World War III almost happened.
Oh yeah, in the far reaches of January, a bomb
like
threat
ages
on
ago.
Iran. It's very fuzzy because a lot's happened, but yeah, we remember World War III nearly happening. Go on.
Right. So here's my theory. So we all know how everyone thinks China's destined to rule the trading world, right? And over the US, in capitalism and all of that. So now, keeping that in mind, US wants the power back, right? Because who doesn't want to be dominating the entire world?
Also, they're America. They are America. Power complex is kind of their entire basis. They were born
not
out of
talk
power.
about their literal god complex here, but so the US, they tried to stop that, right? And what did they do? By trying to stop that, we almost got World War III, nuclear fallout, and almost the destroyal of basically
The destruction. Also, I remember this one in some post. It was a social media post I saw once, which was so accurate for American foreign policy. America shouldn't.
No, exactly.
Like if Vietnam, Iraq, Iran, if those weren't examples
I feel
enough, I'm
like,
sorry, but
I feel like an accurate thing would be, what does this button do? You know?
That's right. Yes. Here we
No,
have.
Wait, add what does this button do for me?
Ah, yes.
And now let's make it the trifecta. What does this button do for me and the companies who sponsor me?
Oh, fair. Okay, that's fair enough. But okay, listen. So the US's whole stance is you're my enemy, so your enemy's my friend, right?
That worked splendidly that worked splendidly, didn't it?
Hussein, anyone?
But that's how Zeus joined up with the 100-handed ones and the Cyclops to overthrow Kronos. So,
Basically the whole thing of, yes, we know something's going to happen. Why not try to stop it before it happens? Yes, I know how. How
Eat
about
my children.
I bomb the world? Or eat my children.
Exactly.
Yes, guys, by the way, parenting notes, guys. Anyone who's listening and who has any thoughts of being a parent, if your first thought as a parent is, how about I eat my children or harm them to stop them from overthrowing me, you do not need to and never should you be a parent. That's my PSA.
By children, we also mean dogs and cats. Please don't eat anyone you consider a child. No. To be honest, cats do act like they rule the world, so I mean.
But they already
cats
do.
Cats are.
They already do.
No,
Fair
debatable.
We clean up their poop, and all they do is stare down at us.
Yes, that's a cat.
While we
ding,
clean
ding.
up their poop from
Woo-Kong, what do you think a cat is? We love that about cats.
Well, see, a cat. So me being the greatest of all, a cat is just below me,
Yeah, sure. Tell that to a cat, Woo-Kong. Tell that to a cat.
They'll scratch you.
I did, and it totally agrees with me.
No.
What? No.
Which cat? May I know?
Cats love me. Excuse you.
Really? Since when? Since when?
Since forever.
Have you even ever met a cat? I'm pretty sure you haven't.
Bruh, where do you think I live? In a cave?
I mean, possibly. You're the Monkey King. You live in a cave. Yes, that's the point of your character.
Also, apes evolved into humans, okay? So shut up.
Yeah, but you're still a monkey. You're still a monkey.
On the evolutionary scale, I'm like so much further ahead of you.
No, you aren't. I'm the primordial giant, and she's the goddess of magic.
Exactly. We're way better than you.
And what does she do with that magic? Nothing. She sketches floating heads, and you talk about... What do you even talk about? Sorry, I zone out every single time you open your mouth. God.
Thanks, Woo-Kong. Okay, but let's get back to the tale.
Right. So look. So Saddam Hussein, right? Or whatever. America's like, oh, terrorist. You know something's bad that's gonna happen. And what do? Let's interfere right now and try to stop it. Guess what's the...
Yeah.
Oh no, you have caused severe collateral damage. What will you do?
What? But it wasn't America's fault? How?
Yeah, America was trying to defend the justice and the liberty of Vietnam. America was trying to defend the justice and liberty of yada yada yada.
Again and again. Rinse and repeat.
I mean, if I want to be accurate...
Rinse it well, God. They make someone else...
Yeah. America is so great. They defend justice and liberty throughout the world.
Also, for all viewers insulting America, we let's just say we know Americans, and some of us may or may not be Americans. So, we know what's up. He
himself is American.
Yes, I'm an American, so I could.
I support all your angry comments. Go ahead,
please.
Oh God,
I love to
I'm
read
gonna have
them.
my head cut off.
I'd love to read them.
This is what I deal with, folks. This is what I deal with on a daily basis. But, okay.
We deal with you. That's much worse.
I deal with two of you. You deal with one of me.
Yeah, and you're plenty.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, no. So here's a question for all of you. Where do you think that... How far do you think you can go by knowing something and trying to counteract it? Do you think that if you knew your future, you could actually change it? Or do you think you would just fall into the hands of your future? The whole conundrum of if you know how you would die.
Basically, if you heard a prophecy about yourself, would you stop it if it was bad?
That's one way to... Yeah, that.
But see, I feel like the best way to handle a prophecy is to just do nothing about it. Like, do you get me? Because every time you try to do it, like, try to prevent it, it comes back tenfold.
That's also very fair. Okay, looks like we're running short of time. So, any final remarks, guys, before we close episode 1?
Don't eat your kids.
Seconded.
Poop well, because, you know, that hurts your tummy if you don't poop out your food.
Fine, whatever. Also, guys, before we end, just as a reminder, right? The situation right now isn't the best. So please remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, be careful, because though it might not be a primordial beings versus... It might not be a war of primordial beings, it's still pretty bad. Remember to be safe, remember to take care of yourself. Remember that it's okay to do.
While I would love to say I took your breath away, please stay safe. Also, on a last final note, just to put it out there, it's not only a fight between countries, you know, US against China or whatever we discussed. It's also between two races right now. I'm pretty sure you know the crisis and situation, whites versus blacks. And just to put it out there, we stand for racial justice.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter, but I wouldn't just for the audience, I wouldn't generalize it as white people versus black people. It's more more people versus the institution. That's a better way to put it.
Yes.
It's people versus the institution.
Yeah, that's a better way. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's not only in America; it's happening all around the world. So
everywhere,
please try to help out where you can, and whether that help be stay informed.
Everyone around you.
Yeah, whether that help be you help your old neighbors get groceries, or you march on Washington for racial justice. Just try to help out as much as you can. It's a tough time for everyone, and yeah. Anything to add?
Yeah. And guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to share it with your family or friends if you're in contact with them. I hope you are. And yeah, just anyone who you think might like this podcast.
Yeah,
Really
we're on
appreciate
Instagram, Spotify. We're on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube,
And we have a website.
yada yada. We have a website as well. So
And an
please do check that
Instagram.
out, share it, and spread it. Yes, I said Instagram already, Hecate. Thank you.
It's all right. It's important.
It's all right.
So,
It's important. Yeah.
Thank you for
But
listening.
there's our shameless plug-in. Thank you for listening. we hope you enjoy. See you next time.
See you next
Bye.
episode.
Bye.
Bye.